Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you get to watch this. This is the first of my audio PowerPoint presentations that will be put up on YouTube, and I'll let you know quickly. Let me explain how we're going to do this course. This is a blended course, and you're going to be doing a lot of these in your years to come in college and at work and lifelong learning and everything you can possibly think of. So if you haven't done these before, some of you have already, I think most of you have already done the one we did last fall. And this is going to be very similar, but it's going to have to be much quicker because we've only got 6 weeks left after this one. So in the blended course, what we're going to do is use the YouTube videos that I can find I would strongly recommend. I know you don't want to watch a 2.5-hour video about the American Revolution, so I'll try to find some of the shorter ones or give you in that 2.5-hour video, give you what segments that you might be interested in. Use the YouTubes because you can learn much more and you get a much more visual audio idea of what this period in American history is all about. I suspect that most of you have not had American History 1 and American History 2 behind you, but still, this is the story about how it all came about. So use that. Use your Google searches when you do your paper. Be careful. Don't cite Wikipedia. Well, you already know that. Check the web. What I want from you is this. Check the web page almost daily. Check your emails regularly. Begin thinking about research paper topic now, which I'll explain in a second. And always looking for this answer. What was it about the early colonists that caused them to develop as they did and revolt against the British in only 50 years after they settled in North America? If you think about it, they were kind of settled by the 1620s, and then by 1776 they're in revolt against the British. All the literature I've ever read, not just American, but even the British literature, says the same thing. It was the British who really screwed up and lost the colonies. It wasn't the American or let's call them the British colonists until we have a revolution, and then we can call them the Americans of the United States of America. I want you to start working right away because you only have 6 weeks on a short paper. And I put this website up there. It's something I just found the other day, and it's really a good guide on how to start formulating your ideas about a research paper, how to put this thing together, which is, I think, where most students struggle is, okay, I got something I want to write about. How do I get it together? A paper of this, a course of this 7 weeks, five pages, 5, 6, 7 pages should be enough. MLA format, you know that drill too. Double space, Times New Roman, left justified, proper heading, citations, etc., etc. I just put these ideas in here. If I was going to write a paper for this course, there are many topics, but you don't want to get into a really big topic. And what I thought right off the top of my head last night, I was thinking about this. I would pick one of the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights are the first 10 amendments that were added to the Constitution in 1789. The Constitution was ratified in 1787 or 88. I forget which, it's not important. But in 1789, somebody came up and said, wait a minute. The Constitution itself, which is, we'll discuss this in next week maybe. Yeah, a week from now. The Constitution itself, a unique instrument. That's my little doggy behind me. Somebody must be coming to the back door. Excuse me. The Constitution itself, a unique document that has been an ongoing and never, the basis of it has never been changed in all the years since it was ratified in 1787. And only the amendments are added. There's one amendment that was added, and that was about prohibition in the 1920s and then rejected in the early 1930s. But whatever ideas you have, let me know about it so I can say, yeah, you know what, I got some good ideas on where to go find information. If you want to watch a movie, the new movie Lincoln, you can probably get it in your DVD store. Or there's a movie online called Gettysburg. It's rather long, but it's about the great battle in the Civil War. Just write to me and say, hey Jim, I've got some good ideas. What do you think? And I'll get back to you quickly. The next question is, why did these people immigrate? Well, there were a lot of things going on in the 1500s, and some of you may know the story of Henry VIII, and there's a really, really good TV series called The Tudors. Henry VIII was the King of England back in the early 1500s, and he was married to Catherine of Aragon, the daughter of Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain. And after a couple of decades of marriage, he couldn't have a son, and he wanted a son to be the next king. And he felt that he had to get rid of her. He was a tyrant. He had to get rid of her, and he fell in lust with a young lady named, what was her name? Anne Boleyn. Well, how do I get rid of the queen? Well, I need a divorce, and England at the time was a Roman Catholic. All Europe was a Roman Catholic country until Martin Luther came around and started messing up the system quite well, actually, and other countries, particularly in Northern Europe, started turning Protestant. And he couldn't get the divorce. It's a long story. It's not appropriate right here. So he could marry Anne Boleyn. So he decided to, I don't care what the Pope thinks, I'll just take over the whole, I'll become the Church of England with something called the Act of Supremacy. And everybody had to sign the Act of Supremacy, which meant that Henry was the ultimate religious authority for the English Anglican Church. There would be no more Roman Catholicism in England or Scotland. Ireland hung on to it. And then all through the second half of the 1500s and in the 1600s, most of the century, the wars between the Catholics and the Protestants, when there's a Catholic king, they kill all the Protestants. When there's a Protestant king or queen, they kill all the Catholics. And a lot of people wanted to get out of it. In the first ones, go to the Wikipedia page, the European Wars of Religion. You get a really good idea of why I wouldn't want to live in England. Start your reading. I've already sent an email to you, I'm sure, that says don't bother with chapter 1 and 2. Just start reading about the North America and the Atlantic world, the British colonizing